And then you see each of these grooves. The opening is the gastric pit. The gastric pit will open up into the gastric glands. Now what happens is the tissue is very tightly packed together, so it really doesn't show a distinctive gland running all the way down, but the glands do run deep. So if we look deeper into this tissue here, I'm going to go up to high power now. You need to be able to differentiate between your parietal cells and your chief cells. Now out on the outer edge with where the gastric pits are, that's all epithelial tissue. As we go deeper, you see these kind of lighter staining, the light purple staining cells. These are all your chief cells. Okay, so you should be able to identify the chief cells and then differentiate those from your parietal cells, which see these little lighter pink staining cells. All the nuclei are a dark purple, but the cytoplasm, kind of more of a lighter pinkish orangish color, those are your parietal cells. And then the lighter purple cytoplasm will be your chief cells. So that's the first couple things you should be looking for on the stomach slide. Find a good segment where you can identify the epithelium, the gastric pits, the gastric glands, and then differentiate the cells. Well, as you run deeper, you can see some other stuff. The lamina propria tissue right below the chief cells. Here's your muscularis mucosa. Here's your submucosal tissue. We go a little bit deeper and get into our muscularis externa. That's another thing. If you look in the lab, it says muscularis externa, and you need to identify the 3 layers. I'm not going to ask you to do that on your slide. If you can identify it as muscularis externa, that's fine. You don't need to differentiate circular, longitudinal, and oblique on the slides. Okay, we had a couple of diagrams that you can identify those, but just the muscularis externa tissue is on here. Okay, so that's the stomach slide and what you're looking for on here.
What about the serosa?
Most of these you're not going to see a serosa because it just clusters the tissue.